All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 3 of Untapped. Today, we got an extremely special guest, UFC fighter NIKO Price, legendary warrior. Thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it. And we've also hosts are Levi Kelly, Major League Baseball player, Arizona Diamondback, and exercise specialist. We've got Mr. Dana Cox. He is producer and engineer. And we've got myself, Kyle Hanna, world record holder in surviving the most chemotherapy, also the cancer patient with the largest biceps in the world.
Nice.
So good to have you here today, NIKO. So how's things been going? I know you're getting ready for a big fight coming up in early December.
Yeah, I'm just out here training, a lot. Just making sure I check my boxes and get all the classes I need, all the rest days I need, everything I need.
Sure. Very nice. And I know you got some questions queued up. You've been getting to know NIKO pretty good over in Florida, kind of exercising, training alongside him. Really would like to hear about how all that's going. And I know Levi's got some great questions.
It's going
for
awesome.
sure. Yeah, it's been like the first day I went in there, like I didn't know what to expect. And then like even for them, I don't think they really knew what to expect either, because the coach was like, "You're 3 days in and you're doing all this already. I thought you were just coming to hang out." I'm like, "No, I want to train."
Yeah.
But it's been good. It's been cool to see like NIKO, just the difference between a lot of the guys in Arizona and like how NIKO goes about things. There's a lot that's similar, but there's a lot that's different too. And I think that's what like makes each guy themselves. But
That's
one of
style.
the like I'm just gonna get like right to it with like how did you become that fighter mindset where you're like, I'll fight anyone, anywhere, any time of the day? Because a lot of guys, they don't do that. They just, they pick the strategic fights where we've talked about it and you're like, dude, they just give me a name, I'm like, yeah, let's go. And just kind of where'd you get that mentality from?
So like I never been in like a street fight. So like, because I was always afraid of fighting. So once I took the step into training, and I was like, "Oh, dude, I'm gonna fight people." Right then I decided it doesn't matter if you step on the scale, you weigh 170. Guess what? Hands are coming at you. Doesn't matter what you look like, who you are, whatever your reputation is. Me and you are gonna meet, and then I'm gonna throw my hands at your face and see what happens.
Right. And with you, it seems like there's no like ill will. It's like we're boys, but we're gonna scrap. We'll chit chat after, but like there's no like we don't have to hate each other to get in there and go at it.
No, not at all. Like in the gym, we're boys. We're trying to get better together, and then when you fight in the ring, honestly, we're trying to make money together, and we're doing it. It's like I just want to make a little more, so I have to win. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna try my hardest to do that.
Yeah, them 6 kids, you got to feed them, boys.
No, they want things. So like they're getting older. Like, I gotta fight more now.
I know I kind of did a little research on you, NIKO, and I saw that you played linebacker in football in high school. Is that correct? And did you play other sports?
I just played football. I was good at running full speed into things.
I love it. Do you think that helped kind of get you in tune to wanting kind of that fighter mentality? I feel like linebackers, like you are kind of fighting. You're the one guy on the field that is really after it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I had the head crush. My coach is like, you gotta be a head buster if you're playing middle linebacker. And I was only a $160 in high school, $170. So like I wasn't big. I was 5'10", $170. Wow. But I would crack people, man. I knew how to dive into you. I knew how to hit you. I was really good at it.
You feel like you're born kind of with that fighting spirit? I feel like a lot of those that want to fight, I feel like even at my level, I've never fought in professional or anything, but I'm in the cancer realm, and I love training with these guys and love everything about MMA and things like that. I feel like it's kind of a special ingrained inborn wiring that we have that's a little different than other people.
Well, yeah, I agree 100%. Because like I remember the first time I was shown Pride, my dad was like, "NIKO," because I was going to the gym to go lift because I was trying to go to college to play football, and I was trying to get bigger and stronger and all that stuff. And then my dad goes, "Look at this," and I was like, "Oh my god, that's crazy! I would never do that." Well, look at me now.
Wow.
I told him I would never get punched, and then like that's all I love to do now. Like,
wow.
sometimes I get punched for free.
Yeah.
I saw that you entered into kickboxing fight when you're 18. Is that all of a sudden when you graduated from high school, that's when you started training, and then you just took a fight pretty quick, it looked like? Wow.
Yeah.
Incredible.
I think like 6 months after I started, not even 6 months, 3 to 6 months after I started, these guys were like, "Oh, you're good." Well, I did a tournament. It was like a little tournament at a local gym where there wasn't really much going on. The dude was bringing people into this tournament, trying to create a fight team. And if you won your weight division, you get to train for free. So I was like, "Oh, okay." And that happened like 3 months after I started. And I was like, "Oh, I got 3 months experience. I'll go try this thing out." I ended up winning. And then they get trained. I got to go train for free there for years. And then I left to a bigger gym. And then we started creating a gym over here.
We're here. Yeah, I guess we cut out.
Yeah, it kicked me out. I was like, "What happened?" I don't know where I was left off.
We were just kind of asking what the name of your gym is and your coach there. I think you've been with him a long time, right?
Yeah. So he recorded me my second fight for that, my second kickboxing fight after I left that gym that I started fighting with. And then I started American Top Team over here with one of my other coaches. And we ran that thing for years and made it to UFC through that. And then I ended up leaving there because some stupid stuff. Had my own gym, stupid stuff happened, left that. And then now I'm with Coach Mike at Syndicate Boxing Club, which we're turning into one of the biggest places in Florida. Well, in the Southwest, at least.
Wow. Yeah, for sure.
So
we talked about that a little bit, like the kind of the mindset of turning the gym that you're training at now into like a mecca on this side of Florida, which I think like long term is going to be sick. Because there's a lot of like it seems like the fighters here, they're so game. They want to fight. They'll fight every weekend if you let them. That's not the biggest difference I see is like on the West Coast, it's more of a like, I don't know if it's strategic or it's a little bit like, I don't know if I'm really about this or what it is, but like here, these guys in this gym, they're fighting like, "Oh, you want to fight Saturday and today's Thursday? Okay, line it up. We'll fight. I'll weigh in. Tell me the way. I'll be there. Let's scrap."
Well, you see us train, man. We train to fight. We don't just train the arts and like want to be a samurai. We're training like that, but we're also training to get some dirty boxing in against the wall. You know, like grind on you, elbows in your face, like all types of like good stuff. You know, good pressure fighting. Like we train like savages. You know, we get cauliflower ear quick with us.
Yeah, that's fact.
Yeah. Speaking on kind of the like last second fighting thing, you were 10-0 going into your fight against Vicente Luque, which was a switched opponent last second. What was that kind of like? And was that like the first time that had happened to you? You were in Brazil too, so it must have been kind of a whirlwind of things.
Nah, man. It was just an obstacle that got in the way and I tripped over it. That's all.
Yeah.
I was training that whole camp to beat up a grappler, you know? And then I ended up getting in there with a striker. So I was prepared to strike, but I wasn't prepared for that level of striking at that moment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he just like the second time I caught him, or we fought, we were going at it, dude, and I was getting it, but that dude, he caught me again. He had my number. I'm like, bastard. But I like him. But
That's a
still,
high level dude too. Like he's fought
Yeah.
the baddest. Like he's fought some. Luke has been through some freaking killers.
yeah, and he's ran through most of them.
Yeah.
Like, I was a minute and 31 seconds away from winning, but then he was trying to finish it in that minute and 31. He got me good with that left hook.
Yeah. You've
But
been in there. So I was thinking some of the guys you beat, you basically you beat Cerrone. Like it was a draw, but you lost a point. And then Tim Means too, the only guy to ever knock out Tim Means. One of the questions I had was like, is it different when you're looking across from like this dude is a legend of the sport and I'm about to try and take him out? Then it's like a guy that you kind of came up with, because those dudes were like doing it probably when you were a fan of the sport, you know?
oh yeah, before I even knew what it was. Um, yeah, dude. If I get a chance to fight a legend or someone that I was looking at, like as I started coming into the sport, and they were like already in it. Oh, I'd take that in a heartbeat. Like
Right.
one of my first was Tim Means. I was like, dude, I'm getting to fight Tim. I remember watching Tim Means fight in WEC and like whooping people's ass. And then like now his name came through my email. What? Let's go for sure. That
Yeah.
when I saw Donald Cerrone, dude, I ran into my wife, and I was like, Donald Cerrone. She's like, what? Like, Donald Cerrone. I just kept repeating his name. Donald Cerrone. What about him? Are you fighting him? I said, yes. Oh, my coaches, and they were, Coach Mike got so psyched, so psyched,
Yeah.
so psyched.
I wish Kyle could meet Coach Mike, like them two, and just they're very similar in the way they go about their business. So it'd be pretty cool to, Coach Mike's been like so valuable just in the short time that I've had, access to him.
I'd love to get out there. I got to get on the bus right now. I feel like getting out there in that floor. It looks beautiful. I've been looking at your shots out on the beach, man. That's amazing. It looks like a movie over there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right on. Well, I know a lot of fighters start when they're 8 years old. They start in some kind of wrestling or some kind of martial art. I think it's amazing that you started at 18, and I feel like that you're still a young fighter really, and you're entering your prime because you did start later, and you're continuing to develop those skills, but you have this amazing warrior mentality. Would you say that's kind of true?
Oh yeah, I'm a fighter. There's nothing else about it. I love it when people ask me my game plan and, oh, you're gonna grapple him, you're gonna strike him, what are you gonna do? You're gonna just try to ground and pound or submit? I'm like, dude, I'm gonna fight you. Like that's all it is. It ain't nothing against you, bro. I'm gonna come in there, I'm gonna analyze you, we're gonna throw some exchanges, and I'm gonna get to work. I'm gonna see how fast you are, how strong you are, and I'm gonna start breaking down the trees coming down, put it that way. We're getting it. We're coming to fight, and I'm coming to get what I feel I deserve, which is a dub.
I love it. And I know you're famous for being in some legendary battles, just some wars. In our podcast, we really tried to make the root of it Untapped about what do you do when you enter into the Untapped? How do you optimize your body and your mind and your spirit when you go into those dark, deep places, when you're in those wars, when obstacles pop up you didn't expect? What are some things that you do or you go to, or some, in the spirit, mind, or body that gets you into that untapped place?
God does.
Amen.
Right there. Like there's times that I'm fighting, and like when I fought Jeff Neal, he dropped me against the cage, like, and then he hit me hard. When I hit that cage, I woke up and I was like, 1-2, 1-2, and I didn't even really think of it. God was just like, hit that 1-2, 1-2, and I spinning back fist, bomb, overhand, bomb, and then he fell again. And I was like, why can't I finish you now? God's like, you gotta do the rest yourself. I wasn't there yet. But like he's pulled me out of some holes. Put it that way. Some dark spots, getting my face elbowed, and then or getting dropped, and then ended up knocking out someone, and all types of times where you just feel out of nowhere, everything gets easier. Breathing, speed, power, and then boom, and then you're just standing there, and he's not. And it's like, all right, thank you, God, thank you for coming through for me.
So you can really feel when the spirit of God is with you. Do you feel, would you describe it like a peace or like a focus, a pumped up feeling?
Yeah, it's like a hype that's uncomparable. You're floating, like you're like Goku on a cloud. What's up? Just
Yeah.
I'm levitating. You don't even realize how fast I'm gonna teleport to you. That's how fast it's gonna look.
I love it.
But yeah, like, it's a different level. It brings you to a different level, I feel.
And I know you got the nickname Hybrid. How did that come about, and what's the meaning behind that?
Because like right when I started, I had a natural ability, like natural power in my hands. So like whenever I hit someone, they all were always like, "Oh my God!" So they didn't want to get hit most of the time, and like, so they knew I could strike. And then I started learning how to grapple, and I got my striking better than grappling. So I was sort of just a very well-rounded fighter, like everywhere. Just I can fight you anywhere, like a hybrid. I can just go anywhere.
I love that.
So,
it seems as the sport evolved, that's so important. Hybrid, because the sport's just evolving so rapidly, always changing.
Yeah, you have to continuously learn and change in the sport, because if you don't, then you'll get stuck in the past, and then you get woken up, and you get help.
Yeah. Help back to the stool.
Yeah. And sometimes you can't even find the stool. Where's that thing?
I never thought of that.
NIKO, where did you get your cardio and stuff from? Like, how did you get? There's a lot of guys. Like, I feel like your style is like, I'm gonna break you. So, do you think that's a cardio thing or just like a toughness? Is it? I guess my question is like a cardio, or is it more toughness?
I just want to break
you. Yeah.
And I'm willing to die to do it. So it's like, let's go. I'm ready. I don't care how tired you get, how strong you are, how much cardio you got. I'm going to make you quit is my goal to everybody. I'm going to grab you, push you, punch you, kick you, slam you, whatever I can do to make you tired, and just keep doing it over and over. Wash, rinse, repeat, and just keep getting them.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to stop.
That's what Phil Rose got coming for him.
Yep. We've been training hard too.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I've been hearing you train several hours in one day sometime. What is the average like in fight camp? What's the average amount of like hours in a week or per day you're training?
A lot. Full-time job. I'm in the gym all morning, and then three or four nights a week too, while still doing the morning. And my morning sessions are three classes: strength and conditioning, striking, and grappling. And then most of the time lately we've been throwing MMA in between there, so we've been getting like almost 4 instead of 3.
I wanted to ask you about that. Like, how's it been different fighting before you had kids and then fighting after you have 6 kids now?
I don't know. I've had kids since I started fighting.
Wow.
So you've always fought like with the mindset of
my daughter born my pro debut. The day after my pro debut, my daughter Mia was born.
Oh, nice. So you've always fought like I got kids to feed.
I gotta feed somebody, man. That's the only reason I went pro, technically, or I would have fought longer amateur probably, just to
Right. You're
build
just
more.
like,
The reason I went pro is because my wife got pregnant, and I was doing landscape and only making like 500 a week, and I was like, well, man, if I'm gonna take this as a career, I have to really take this opportunity now more than later. Like, I couldn't wait much longer
right.
and get this done. And then
Yeah.
that's when I built that mindset of it doesn't matter what happens or who's in front of me is I'm getting this and I'm taking it for. So like I have
Right.
a lot of that why mindset. My kids are my why, and I'll do anything for them. Legit.
Right.
I'll go bare knuckle if I had to for them. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
straight, you know it, Levi. You know I would.
No, you don't got to tell me.
I'm so fired up to hear how big God has been in your life. How did you end up coming to believe?
Well, actually, that sort of falls into the MMA part too, because when my wife got pregnant, we actually had a miscarriage with our first child. Um, so we would have seven already. We would have seven right now, but we had our first one was a miscarriage, and then that's when we were devastated. Then we were like, there's got to be more to life than just what we're doing, fighting and then partying and drinking and hanging out on the weekend. Like there has to be something more. And then we started going to church, and we just got God found us. We didn't find him. Put it that way. He grabbed our hearts.
That is
And then
beautiful.
sent me and my wife is most likely the spiritual leader, and I'm working my way up to taking the spiritual leadership in my house. But I still have a lot of like I got to fix a lot of things on me first.
I love that. I was just reading a book about humbleness and how just a huge aspect of Jesus and his walk is being humble. And I just admire that so much when you say something like that. What a humble man you are. What are something? Do you guys do Bible studies or like praise and worship in the house and things like that?
We always have the TiVo things on the Bible Man and all that. The kids love Bible Man, and then we I got them in a Christian school, and it's the same church that we go to. So like all their friends are always at church. So they're just consistently all their friends go to the same church, same school, and it's just a God filled life is what we're doing.
Right.
Wow.
Trying to correct the world.
You can feel that in the gym too. Like the gym
Yeah,
is almost the gym is similar to like with Coach Mike too, and they do the Bible study once a week. It's almost like a gym slash church or gym slash ministry. Like you see Coach Mike changing all these kids' lives. Like, dude, this is you got to be. You need to live by God and all these things, and introducing this stuff to these kids' life. It's pretty special to see.
dude, it's so awesome because since we got together, we like he's grown so much and helped me grow so much too, man. Like he's like a father figure, like he could like he's there. If I ever have a question, I call him. He helps me out. He's like a second dad. Like he's a
Yeah,
great leader. Him. He's a spiritual leader. And he'll admit it too. He's like, yeah, don't I got flaws? He's like, I don't want or I don't deserve to have his grace just as much as anyone else, but he has mercy, so he does. And then he'll break down verses, the word of the day, all that stuff, the verse of the day and stuff. It's
yeah,
every day that.
yeah.
Wow, that's
That
beautiful.
gym is it's a special spot. Yeah, for sure. I think too. I'm like, I don't know how more people around here don't know about that spot. Like, I don't know how that, but I guess people are. I think the biggest thing is people are scared to go into a fighting gym. They're scared to like walk in there. It's kind of intimidating. But then you get in there and you're
Yeah,
like, these dudes aren't mean. They don't want to beat anyone up. They're just having, it's more like a
yeah.
sport mentality. But I think from the outside looking in, you're like, oh, these dudes are mean fighters. Like, I
And
want to,
yeah, the gym too. You know, like the gym's not like a walk in around the clock fitness looking gym. You walk in, it's like there we might have missed the blood from yesterday on accident that Levi sneezed and started his nose bleeding.
Jeez.
Got the softest nose in the sport.
What's going on, Levi?
Amazing. I was having a kind of a rough morning dealing with the cancer side effects and all that kind of thing. And Levi sent me over a little short clip of you guys having a Bible study inside of the octagon, and I just couldn't believe it. It just hit. I just was hit like with goosebumps all over my body, and it just lifted me up like something's really special. I've never heard of that or seen that anywhere in my life, and I think there's something really special you guys are doing there.
Dude, like everyone, a lot of people don't look at MMA fighters as like godly people, but it's like, dude, we need God the most, honestly. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel the most broken. We should all be in there. And you all have to remember this, that God had savages. He has warriors with flaming swords, and they come to cut your head off. You know, and he talks about holding heads. You know, like he has warriors, and I would love to say that our gym is helping create a lot of them. You know, and we have a whole bunch of new guys coming in. Every week we get somebody new. Levi, Cody. We have all these new athletes coming in. Emilio, free little wrestlers like is it Italo? I forgot his name. One of our other guys who just came over from Cuba, and then he's gonna go to college, I think, in Iowa. It's like he's going to Mariner High School. He's gonna be a beast. Like there's so much talent coming over now. And it's
David and what's it? David in the boxing realm? That dude,
his hands, like the speed that man has, and now he's 130 fights in amateur. Like he's an open fighter. Yeah, like he's been through some stuff and he's beat some people, man. Golden Glove, bronze medalist, and they called him like with 2-week notice, just his old school, to come to Detroit and fight for him. And he took bronze off of 2 weeks notice in the Golden Gloves. Like, oh gosh, my son's riding the bike and he's squirming. He's good. He got his feet down. Oh, he's gonna run to that 4-wheeler.
NIKO's kids play like we did back in like early 2000s.
Yeah,
I'm like, you don't see kids playing like that nowadays.
Nah.
They're all on a phone or whatever.
Yeah. Well, I got blessed to get 3 acres of land after I fought James Vick, right by my parents' house. So it's actually connected to it. So the kids, they just run all day, just run, drive the side by side, go break into my gym, work out my gym. Like, oh, they do some crazy things in my gym with the Batsu ball. That's a trampoline for like
yeah.
3 to 8-year-old. Like they jumped that thing, and my son did a front flip on the mat the other day. Asher did. I was like, whoa!
They're crazy. They're creative too. They were building when we were there. They were building some type of contraption up in this tree with Taya. I'm like, look at these kids. They're getting after it.
Yeah, dude. They've been wanting to, because there's so much trees cut around the house right now. They've been wanting to build like a little log cabin so they can play in it.
Wow.
So like after the fight, that's the game plan. I'm gonna buy all the stuff and I'm gonna build them a little oak house out of logs if it's not gone by then.
Nice.
Then they're putting dad to the real work.
Yeah. Well, they keep me. They keep my my at-home skills fresh. You know.
Yeah.
They keep me like, because before fighting, like I had a few businesses. I had a landscape business which I ran, and then that one went down, and then I started a pool company, and then that went down, and then I started a pressure cleaning company, and then that held for like 3 years. and I did that until the phone call for the UFC came. And then I was like, yeah, I'm not pressure cleaning ever again.
How long in from the moment, like when you started training till you got to the UFC? How many years?
I started at 18, and then I was in the UFC on December 31st, 2016. And I was 27 or
Okay,
26.
so like 8 years.
Yeah, 8 years.
Nice. And what did you start first with? Jiu-jitsu or wrestling?
I just ran into that like a gym where I did street defense, and then I did like a little jiu-jitsu, but it was Japanese jiu-jitsu. It wasn't nothing. It wasn't like,
Crazy.
yeah, it was but and then they had a decent boxing coach there. And then a decent like MMA guy who had like 20 fights, but not the best record.
Right.
But he was a great guy. And he taught me a bunch of side control stuff, so I was good with it. Until I had to go to a high level.
Amazing.
Yeah, I think
oh, go ahead, Lou.
No, you're good. You're good.
Oh, I was just gonna say that I think that a lot of people don't realize how much skill sets go into being a UFC fighter. You think about like an NFL football player, they tend to have just one assignment and one skill set that they have to train for, and they might train their conditioning around that. But for a UFC fighter, like goes along with your nickname hybrid, you're describing right now how you have to really go in on almost like 3 different sports and then blend in a whole nother amount of being ready to adapt to anything at any time. And I think a lot of people don't realize how cerebral UFC fighters have to be in learning those skill sets, being able to change from one to another really rapidly. I think that's just incredible.
And I have to understand the timing for it too. You have to know when it's time to move, to change the art. Like, oh, we're about to go from boxing real quick, switch, grappling, drop into a single, blast double. He grabs your neck. Oh gosh, I gotta get to some jiu-jitsu defense right now. Let me try to get under and pick him up and slam him. Oh, look at that. That was Rickle. We're back to wrestling now, and then he sprawled out, separated, bomb, back to striking. It's, where I'm good is the in between. I'm hitting you while we're switching in between things. And not just one or two things. I'm switching. I'm hitting you like I try to hit you every second I can hit you. I hit you.
And he's hitting you hard.
Like
he's not just tapping you. He's hitting you hard enough where you have to move. Or you're going to get beat up.
Love tap.
Love tap.
But the one thing I see too is like I think it was the first or second day we were training, and I'm on my back or whatever and trying to like come up just like casually, like whatever, this isn't anything crazy, and he's already on me. Like there's no time to get up. And that's like that pressure style of like being in your face nonstop. Because most guys is like, okay, we're resting in the in-betweens, or like coach was talking about, you got to give the 10% right now, this moment, and to put yourself in a dominant position so that way you can rest. Like if you rest now, then you're going to be on your back.
Dominant position.
You're going to be on your back, and then you're not going to be resting at all.
You're fighting it.
Yeah.
Instead of that, like you said, that 10% extra at that 1 or that 3 to 5 seconds before, and you might have been on top by throwing your hips over higher. Like.
Right. For me, and training with somebody with that mindset, like going back to the baseball world, it's like that mindset doesn't really even exist. So if I can learn from these guys that are the top conditioning guys in the top conditioning sport, and I relay it back to a sport that conditioning is not like, it's not a pillar, I would say.
Yeah.
Then, it's only going to elevate my game in that avenue even more.
I would agree 100%.
It definitely can't hurt,
I think
No, dude.
we're all waiting for somebody to charge the mound on you, Levi. I think that's
Dude, that's
the
what
thing
I
we all want.
don't want to see you hit it with that straight 1-2.
Or maybe he pulls guard. He pulls guard and goes for
He
something.
better not pull guard. You know how I feel about that.
I won't be allowed back at the gym.
No, I don't like pull guard. Someone pulled guard on me, and I looked at him. I was like, "Are you serious?" And then I smashed, pass, and bash.
I love it. With all the hybrid, the championship stuff you're doing. What kinds of food are you eating to fuel this crazy training schedule?
So, like the UFC, they feed us before fights. They hook us up with some icon meals, and then I also have a local. I love to go get some local fresh food, and it's a lean box. And they've been taking care of me lean box since before the UFC. Years, like almost about a decade now. And I call them up, and they're like, "What's up?" And then, "How you doing? Your weight? Get all of the numbers together. All right, I'll have your meals." And then every 2 days, I go get my meals from them too. So
that's beautiful. And you have somebody that manages your nutrients and your calories and all that kind of stuff. Oh, what? It's a nutritionist too. That's a lot of people don't realize that. You're at a professional sports level. You usually think, oh, this guy's already got some kind of scientist in the back planning all this stuff.
No, I know. I like to know what's going into my body.
Yeah, that's how I am too.
Yeah, I don't like to just put anything in either, like because like the other day I had a spurt. What is that called when you just buy something on Amazon, like buy now?
Oh yeah.
Like a
it's spur of the moment, yeah.
Yeah, like, I was just like, oh yeah, I'm buying this, and this. And it was Alpha Brain, Shroom Tech pre-workout, and then something for sleep from them. And then when it all gets here, I go to take it, and then I realize, oh wait, I didn't even look at the labels and stuff and like see if they're under any of the certifications that I'm allowed to take. And I was like, oh, so I didn't take them. And I can only take one of them. So the other two, if you guys want some Alpha Brain or some relaxed stuff, I can't take it.
That's why it's important to like just handle your own stuff. I feel like unless you have somebody that you trust or that you know is super dialed in, because like
I just go straight to USADA.
It's on you, right? Like if you fell, it's not, the nutritionist doesn't have to sit out a year. The nutritionist doesn't have to the nutritionist still gets paid. Like
exactly, we're gonna have to pay him.
Right, exactly. So it's better if you just take ownership in that, unless you have somebody that you like trust a lot. And typically, to find somebody that you trust a lot, you're going to pay a pretty penny for. No, NIKO, how much do you walk around? Like, how much weight do you walk around, or how much do you walk around?
I was 190 after I ate earlier or yesterday. Yeah, but I ate like 5 meals.
So you're cutting what, 20? You're cutting, I guess that's normal, like 20 pounds, 20-ish pounds is normal. Some guys cut more.
Yeah, oh yeah, dude. A lot of dudes cut from like 200 at this weight class. There's a few of us that don't cut that much, but I know a few guys that get over 2. A couple that get a little more than they should over 2. But hey, it's on your organs, not mine. You still gotta weigh in at this weight. And the biggest dude I fought so far was Michelle Preya.
Yeah, he's massive.
Yeah.
What's he? He's probably like 205 walk around.
I think he's he might be a little bigger than 205 walking around. Because I saw him after I fought Alex too, Oliveira. He was cornering Jimmy Walker. Is that his name? Right. Jimmy Walker?
Yeah, Johnny Walker?
Yeah. Johnny Walker.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, that's what Jay. Johnny. But Johnny's like, and then Michelle's right there, and I was looking at him. I'm like, yo, how big are you, bro? Like, I said, how much you weigh right now? He goes, I don't have a fight lined up, man. I'm big. I'm like, yeah, I can see that. Damn.
Yeah.
That boy, no wonder he tries to request a treadmill in his room.
Yeah. With you train nonstop though. It's like you're almost, even when you're not in camp, I feel like you're kind of still in camp.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm a year round.
Your lifestyle is in camp.
Yep.
Which I think that leads to like the longevity in the sport. Like, okay, some guys might not be able to fight at 35, 36, 37, but because you live your lifestyle this way and you're not doing all these crazy things, now you see the guys that are winning titles at 40, 41, 42 years old.
And I hope, but hopefully we can be retired by fishing on the bass tracker.
That's one of the questions I had too, is like what like hobbies outside of fighting?
Fishing, or kids, fishing, and my fish tanks.
Oh,
God,
My
you
wife,
should
I'll
see
put her
some
in
of
there somewhere.
his fish tanks are crazy. He's got some big fish. Like
I was
at
gonna
his
say, how
house,
big
he's
are
got this
they?
big tank. Some of them are big.
Yeah, dude. So I had to. It's funny, Levi. Did I show you the pool I made into a little pond?
Yeah.
Yeah. I took a 10-foot kiddie pool and I filled it up. And I took an old pool pump that I found in my shed. And I put all the fish in there, and I put a whole bunch of bait fish in there. So they live outside now. They're chilling in my little pool pond.
He's got a whole aquarium.
Literally. I'll send you a picture so you can send all them after this.
That'd be dope. We should put them up in the pod so people.
Yeah,
can
I was
see
just
them.
thinking that.
Dude, I put my red-tailed catfish in there. I put my knife fish, my clown knife. I got a gar in there, and then I have like 25 tilapia in there, like 20 cichlids, thousands of guppies everywhere. And the knife fish, right before I came here, it was just attacking them all. It was ripping them apart. It looks so cool. Yeah, he was getting excited. He was like, I was like, just don't jump.
NIKO wouldn't make it in Arizona. There's hardly any. The fishing there is not the same. Like
No.
I can't even try to fish out there because I'm like used to fishing here where you'll catch 10, 20, 30 in a day. And out
Yeah.
there, if you catch 3 in a day, it's a good day. And I'm like, this is not a good day.
I've been here for 12 hours, got 2 fish.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, that happens. Sometimes you get skunked. You know, that's part of fishing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It ain't catching. It ain't called catching, right?
Yeah.
This is
I'm
good.
getting.
Go ahead, Levi.
No, you're good. I was just
Right on. Well, I just got a couple more questions. I don't want us to take up too much time of NIKO. I know you got a lot of kids there. I was really curious to know if you're using recovery tools like the cold plunge and things like that.
I have these really sick braces. They're called the RE3 braces. It's like recover, revive, and rejuvenate, I think. And it's RE3. And dude, those things have been helping my knees so much through like since they started. I've got them. They've just helped me so much. It's crazy.
Wow.
And I use those not only on my knees, I use them on my elbows, my shins. And you know, you have a hard day of kicking, and it's like, oh, I did like 500 kicks today, dude. My leg hurts. You know, you go get your shin, the ice thing. I put it on my shin, and then I'm like, ah.
Wow.
And then I got these
golden.
Actually, I have them right here because I have like 4 pairs, or 2 pairs of them, because I train so much. The go sleeve.
Wow.
And these I use it throughout all my trainings. They have the kinesiology tape in it, so like they don't slide at all. They don't slide, move, or nothing. And I've been using those.
Wow.
Those things are good for recovery too. You can put them on, and then the kinesiology tape does whatever the tape does. Helps blood flow, circulation, and recovery.
Wow. What about breath work? Are you doing guided breath work?
Yeah. So I have a sports psychiatrist, and she helps me with breathing techniques for controlling like my emotions, anxiety if I get some. Um, yeah, anything. Because fighting's an emotion. If you can't control it, you're fighting angry or you're fighting scared. You know, I like to fight fun. I like to
Mhm.
I like to vision and see everything I'm doing. Like as I'm punching at you, that punch is coming because I'm watching it hit you already. And I'm looking you in your eye or in your face as I'm punching you right in your face. Because I enjoy that. And I like to control it. So
We
they
did
help me
some
just be able to control
I love it.
excitingness, I guess.
we did some breath work. Coach Mike ran some breath work. What was that, Friday? Was that Friday? Or no, Thursday.
You
Thursday.
know my word. Oh yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, in the boxing room.
I remember now. I remember now.
Was
Yeah,
that like
we
at the end
laid
of practice or the middle?
The end. He did
and
like like a almost like I think it was like a downshift. Like I'm in gear
yeah,
5 and I'm shifting down to gear 2.
yep,
Wow.
exactly. Calming the mind, calming the breathing, calming the heart, just getting your everything's back in line. And then when you get up, you're like, oh wow, I feel good.
Like I'm ready to go
That's
train
still
some more.
train a little bit extra right now.
Yeah.
Do you pay much attention to the UFC sport as a fan? Like, who would be your fighters that you kind of looked up to when you're getting into the sport, or fighters that are new that you're looking at coming up?
um, I like a bunch of people, mostly the older dudes, more of like the GSPs, the Silvas and stuff. The original OGs down to get in there and bang it out. Like Matt Sarah, dude, Matt Sarah is one of my favorites, and that's so fun to talk to. He's the funniest guy ever. He gets so excited. Like when me and him are on the phone, it's like we're screaming at each other. It's so fun. Like, you don't even know NIKO. So how he get awesome,
Did
bro?
you
How are
train
you?
with Matt Sarah? You trained with him at some point then?
I have not, but he gave me an open invitation to come over a couple years ago when I was talking to him. So I just have to I just gotta follow up on those because I have a lot of people that say I can go out there, but I'm just a family stay at home guy. I don't really leave home, but to the gym, like
Yeah, it's
or
similar
a
to
lake.
NIKO's setup is similar to Sean's, where it's like this is NIKO's team. This isn't team and NIKO kind of treats it the other way, which I think is super interesting. But like syndicate boxing is team NIKO from the coaching staff perspective, but NIKO, like being the humble fighter is, he's team syndicate boxing. So it's pretty cool. Like this whole, we have this family that's kind of all laser focused in on NIKO and trying to make sure he's as prepared as he can be. And that's similar to like how Sean's camp is ran. It seems like looking at it from the outside.
I lost you,
You're good.
but I'm back. John Cena.
How are we doing on
Sorry.
time, Dana? Do you guys? I'm
I have
running
no
out
clue.
of questions. If you guys got more questions,
I just have one last question, really. After you run through Phil Rowe here, is there anybody you're looking at in the top 15 that is a scrap? I just saw Daniel Rodriguez last night lose a tough fight to Neil Magny, and he's a scrapper like you. Is there anybody else in the top 15 you're looking at?
Everyone.
yeah.
That's what I figured.
Hi guys. What a number next to your name in the welterweight division? I'm gonna meet one of you,
Right.
and then I'm gonna have that number.
Yeah.
No offense to you guys, you're cool and all, but I got some shit I gotta do before I die.
Coming after you.
I'd love to hear real quick. What are your thoughts on if Levi ever decided he wanted to get serious about training to try to get into the UFC?
He can do it, 100%.
Got a long ways to go though. I felt what it feels like.
Mindset that can bring you there. You know, Coach Mike talking about it.
Yeah.
You know you can handle it too. You're not afraid of the work.
I was thinking about this on the way here, just like pondering in my head. Not really a question for the podcast, but this kind of bounces off that is like, for me, it's more important for me to have like the self-belief in myself than it is a coach to believe in me. Like I need to believe more than the coach does. But sometimes as an athlete, you like want the coach to believe in you more, and you want that like, hey buddy, you can do it. And it's like, that's not necessarily how it is. Like it needs to be, I know I can do it, and now I'm gonna convince this coach to believe. Like all these people say, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this. It's like, all right, you're gonna find out, you know.
Yeah, I'm gonna show you. Dude,
I think some of the fighters,
I had to prove a lot of people wrong in this game.
And a lot of people, I think they're waiting for that, like, hey buddy, you can do it. And it's like, no, you're not going to get that. You're going to have to convince these people that you can do it first. And then they're going to say, hey, buddy, you can do it.
And then it's like, as they say that to you, you look at them and go, I know. That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, I've had people being, you remember me, man? I knew you would make it. And in my head, I'm like, I remember you telling me that I should go get a full-time job. That's all I remember from you. You know, like
yeah.
Like, no, man, I don't remember that. I remember you talking shit about me not making it, and people telling me that. You know, we're only a big town, man, and no one thought I was gonna ever become one of the professional athletes from this town. Do you know what I'm saying? And that was my only goal in life. I'm gonna be a professional athlete. I didn't know what it was in, but I knew that before I die, professional athlete will be next to NIKO Price. That's all I knew.
That's how I was coming up too. I'm like, I don't care what sport it is. I just want to train. And in order for me to be able to train for a living, I need to be a pro at something.
Exactly. That's the way I looked at it. I was like, that's professional. And then I became pro. And I made like my first $1,000, and I was like, cool, so you can make a little bit of money in this. Then I just tried to fight like 8 times a year to try to make it work. So I did like 8 fights in 2 years, I think. And then I went to the US.
Yeah, you can tell too. Like this motherfucker, he'll fight in the parking lot if you want.
Hey, you got a paycheck? Let's go.
Yeah.
I can't cut for not getting paid though. I need to get some money. I don't want to break these things for free.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I honestly don't know if I will break my hands because I never rap or anything, and they don't hurt ever.
They're just calloused up. They're just so used to like, I got to get bigger because this dude will not stop punching.
He's too late to rap it.
Yeah.
You said you never broke your hands before? No breaks in your hands? Wow. So there's something to that. Doesn't wrap his hand, and they're getting stronger from that. I think people coddle their hands too much, maybe in training.
We talked about this the other day. Like when NIKO punches you, he's like driving these front 2 knuckles through your skull, where most I feel like they're trying to hit you with your whole, like he's trying to hit you with his whole fist, obviously, but he's getting you with the front 2 ones. Like those are coming through your head.
Wow.
Where like some guys are punching like this, they're clipping you. Look at my pinkies are all cut up because I don't know how to punch. And he's like, how in the hell are you hitting your pinky? Well, that's probably what leads to you messing your hands up.
I'm like, how? You like this?
Yeah. That's why it doesn't hurt. I'm hitting you with my pinky and you're hitting me with these 2 knuckles.
Well, that's lined up with this elbow. The pinky.
That's crazy.
Yeah, think about it. Put your pointer fingers out, these two fingers.
Yeah.
Point them, close the fist, and then keep those fingers like they were.
Right.
And then nice and oh boy, that's a clobber knocker right there, buddy.
Hey. That's crazy.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I'm gonna keep that in mind for sure. Little Street Fighter.
And make it tight.
Yeah.
When it's tight, it's a rock. You know, the tighter you squeeze it, the less give in the hands and the fingers. It's a nice.
Good night.
That's something a lot of fighters need to listen to, because I keep seeing fighters are breaking their hands. It's like every other fighter is after their fight, it seems like.
It happens, man. Some people's hands just are not weak, but frail. You know, like
weak.
Yeah, I'm trying not in a nice way. But
yeah, but I'm sure like you could punch something 1,000 times, but then you just hit it a little bit off or something, then it breaks. It's just like,
yeah,
sometimes it's just a freak thing, but
I'm just blessed at the moment that they haven't. The one time I thought I did was because I elbowed this dude in the head, and when I came back to the corner, I was like, I can't feel my hand. I think I broke it. And then when I got up, I started moving my hand. I was like, and the tingling went away, and I was like, oh, I hit my funny bone. And I looked back at my coach. I was like, I hit my funny bone. I'm good. And then I went out there.
NIKO will beat you up too, and he'll talk to you. I remember one time he had me on the ground and we were doing, I think it was just jujitsu, but he was like, hey, is your arm okay? Is your arm good? And I'm like, yeah, my arm's fine. And then he's like, okay, I'm going to choke you out right now.
All right, I'll only go for chokes on Levi. No arm bar, leg locks, just choking you. I'll use your leg to throw you over. Even when you're like, you go for a front choke, I don't even want to pull your shoulders, since my coach the other day was defending a Dars and pulled his shoulder out of the socket. Were you there, Levi, when he did that?
Yeah.
Dude, it was like, and I was like, oh, that's gross. And then he goes, click, right back in. I was like,
ah, man,
ugh, that was crazy.
Yeah.
But I got to see it. It was a cool witness.
Yeah. You guys got anything else?
No, sir.
All good. Just good luck with
go.
the fight, man. Good luck.
Thanks,
NIKO,
man.
you got anything for fans or anything?
Yeah, everyone watching, go check out Ghost Sleeve and RE3. If you got any roof damage from the hurricane or anything, Roman Roofing. And if your back hurts, Jordan Blaustein Chiropractic.
And tune in December 3rd.
You want to pray.
December 3rd, big fight. NIKO Price is going to be fighting.
Yeah.
Wait, we'll be cheering for you. We'll have a big group watching you.
It's going to be awesome, guys. It's going to be something to remember, put it that way.
Hell yeah.
Oh,
For sure.
well,
hey, I appreciate it. Thank you so much, NIKO.
Appreciate you so much, man. Thank you.
Thank all of you for having me on, man. It was fun. I love meeting new people.
Hell yeah.
And you're a warrior, man. 10 years plus. Go Cancer, what's up, son?
Yeah.
That means a lot. It means a lot. Not without this guy, right?
Right? He's our crutch.
That's right.
He's our crutch cloud.
I said we need to get Kyle the BMF belt. That's the real baddest motherfucker.
Yeah, for real, dude. Why? No, because I'm gonna get that chance to fight for that, and then I'll bring it to you.
Oh, let's
go.
Hell
yeah.
Go.
That's the type of dudes that need to fight for is like guys like that are the baddest motherfucker in the sport.
Dude, they asked me the other day if I would fight Jorge, and I was like, man, yeah, I would. But we're under the same management. But and that's what me and Phil are, and I feel bad about it and stuff. But like, if we're both gonna make money, let's go make some money together. That's all I was thinking, you know.
I love it. You got such a spirit of Jesus in you. I see, I really see you know, I imagine Jesus just from reading scriptures and things. I kind of see him as he had fun, he smiled, he sang, he lifted other people up, he was positive, but he was also a tremendous worker. It says he's coming, when he comes back, he's going to be on a horse with a sword, the most intense warrior. And I just love that spirit, man. It fires me up.
Woo!
Hell yeah. Thanks, guys.
We go cut somebody now. We go soccer kick one of my kids. No, I was kidding.
Very good. Well, I look forward to meeting you one day, and we'll be rooting for you. And man, thanks so much for the time.
Thanks for having me on, guys. Levi, you gonna be at training tomorrow? I'll be there.
Yeah, I'll be there in the morning.
I'll see you there now.
See you in the morning, brother.
All right, guys. Great to meet you.
You too.
Peace, bro.
Later. Well, thanks everybody for joining us on episode 3. I think that went really awesome with NIKO Price. Man, a lot of thanks and gratitude. So good to get to know him a lot better. Please like and subscribe to our channel, and we can't wait for the next episode next week. Thanks for watching,
Peace, guys. Thank you.